In today's video, we're revealing two dangerous fish that diabetics should never eat. Doctors and health experts have been warning about the serious risks these fish can pose for those who need to keep their blood sugar in check. And the worst part, many people eat them without realizing the harm they're doing to their bodies. If there's one thing I need to tell you today, it's this. Because avoiding the wrong foods can make all the difference in managing diabetes. So if you can, grab a pen and paper, because this information could help you protect your health. Before we dive in, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss any essential tips here on facing diabetes. Mackerel is often praised as a healthy fish, packed with omega-3 fatty acids. But did you know that some types of mackerel can actually be dangerous for diabetics? Many people assume that eating fish is always a good choice. But not all fish are created equal. Some varieties contain high levels of toxins, unhealthy fats, and even heavy metals that could harm your body instead of helping it. If you have diabetes and want to keep your blood sugar stable, this is one fish you need to be very careful with. One of the biggest concerns with mackerel is its high mercury content. While some types of fish naturally contain small amounts of mercury, certain species of mackerel, like king mackerel, have extremely high levels that can accumulate in the body over time. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, king mackerel is one of the top fish to avoid due to its toxic mercury levels. Why does this matter for diabetics? Mercury exposure has been linked to nerve damage, insulin resistance, and increased inflammation, all of which can make managing diabetes much harder. Another issue with mackerel is how it's processed and prepared. While fresh, wild-caught mackerel can be a decent option in small amounts, many people consume smoked, canned, or preserved mackerel, which often contains high levels of sodium, preservatives, and unhealthy oils. A study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that excessive sodium intake can worsen insulin resistance, raise blood pressure, and increase the risk of heart disease. Three major concerns for diabetics. If you already struggle with blood sugar control, eating mackerel could be making things even worse without you even realizing it. I want to know, have you ever checked the mercury levels in the fish you eat? Drop your answer in the comments. Your response could help others make healthier choices. And remember, this is a community where we support each other. I read every comment, and I truly appreciate you being here. So what's the safest choice? If you still want to eat mackerel, stick to smaller species like Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, which have much lower mercury levels compared to king mackerel. But even then, it's best to eat it only in moderation and avoid heavily processed versions. Always check the labels, and if possible, choose wild-caught options over farmed or mass-produced varieties. At the end of the day, what you put on your plate has a direct impact on your health. Choosing the wrong fish could be silently increasing inflammation, making blood sugar harder to control, and putting your heart at risk. And trust me, once you hear about the next hidden danger of mackerel, you'll think twice before eating it again. Most people believe that fish is always a healthy choice, but what if I told you that some mackerel contain hidden toxins that could be harming your body? While fresh fish can be a great source of nutrients, certain types of mackerel, especially those from polluted waters or poorly regulated fisheries, can contain harmful chemicals, heavy metals, and industrial contaminants that might secretly be damaging your health. And for diabetics, these toxins can make blood sugar control even more difficult. One of the biggest risks with mackerel is polychlorinated biphenyls, PCBs, and dioxins, toxic chemicals that accumulate in fish living in polluted environments. Studies from the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, have shown that some species of mackerel contain high levels of PCBs, which are linked to hormonal imbalances, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of metabolic disorders. If you have diabetes, consuming these toxins regularly could interfere with how your body processes sugar, making it harder to maintain stable blood glucose levels. Another major concern is histamine poisoning, also known as scombroid poisoning. Mackerel is naturally high in histidine, an amino acid that, when exposed to warm temperatures, can turn into histamine, a compound that can cause allergic reactions, digestive issues, and even dangerous spikes in blood pressure. According to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, improperly stored or processed mackerel is one of the most common causes of histamine poisoning. And since many diabetics already struggle with circulation and cardiovascular health, this type of reaction can be even more dangerous. Before we go any further, I have a question for you. Do you always check where your fish comes from before eating it? Let me know in the comments. Your answer might help someone else make a healthier choice, and remember, this is a community where we support each other. I appreciate every comment, and I love seeing all of your experiences. If you still enjoy mackerel, the safest option is to choose wild-caught fish from clean, regulated waters. Look for labels that indicate low mercury content and sustainable fishing practices. Also, be extra careful with canned or preserved mackerel, since these often contain added salts, preservatives, and unhealthy oils that can negatively impact blood sugar and heart health. Your health is in your hands, and small decisions like choosing the right type of fish can have a huge impact on your well-being. The last thing you want is to think you're eating something healthy when, in reality, it's silently affecting your body in ways you don't even notice. And trust me, when you hear about the next risk of eating mackerel, you'll be even more careful about what ends up on your plate. You might think that eating fish is always a good idea, but what if I told you that some types of mackerel could actually be increasing inflammation and making it harder to control your blood sugar? While wild-caught fish like salmon are known for their anti-inflammatory benefits, certain types of mackerel contain an unhealthy balance of fats that may do more harm than good, especially for diabetics. One of the biggest issues with mackerel is its omega-6 to omega-3 ratio. While omega-3 fatty acids are great for reducing inflammation and supporting heart health, some mackerel species have a dangerously high level of omega-6 fatty acids. According to a study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, too much omega-6 can lead to chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and an increased risk of diabetes complications. This is a major problem because inflammation is one of the biggest drivers of high blood sugar and poor circulation. But that's not all. Some farmed mackerel are even worse. When mackerel is raised in fish farms instead of caught in the wild, it is fed an unnatural diet of processed grains, soy, and other low-quality feed. This changes the nutritional profile of the fish, making it higher in unhealthy fats and lower in beneficial omega-3s. A report from the National Institutes of Health, NIH, found that diabetics who consume too many omega-6 rich foods may experience worsening insulin sensitivity and higher blood sugar spikes. In short, choosing the wrong kind of mackerel could be pushing your blood sugar levels in the wrong direction. I'd love to hear from you. Do you try to eat more omega-3s in your diet, or is this something new to you? Drop a comment below. Your answer might help someone else make better food choices. And remember, we're all here to learn and support each other. I appreciate every comment, and I love seeing your insights. So what should you do if you love mackerel? The key is choosing the right kind. Stick with wild-caught Atlantic or Spanish mackerel, which have a better balance of omega-3s and lower mercury content. Avoid farmed or overly processed mackerel, especially if it comes from questionable sources. When in doubt, always check for labels that indicate the fish was caught in clean, regulated waters. At the end of the day, what you eat directly impacts how you feel and how well you manage diabetes. Some foods may seem harmless at first, but over time they can create long-term damage to your health without you even realizing it. And trust me, the next fish on this list is even worse than mackerel for diabetics, and you won't believe what's inside it. Did you know that many dishes that seem healthy for diabetics can actually be dangerous? Discover the recipes that really work. Stop feeling limited or insecure in the kitchen. My book brings together delicious and easy recipes specially created to keep your blood sugar under control and add more flavor to your life. I've already helped thousands of diabetics eat better, feel happier, and achieve a lighter life with my book. Every recipe has been tested and approved by those who understand the needs of people living with diabetes. Click the link in the first comment of this video now and get immediate access to the book that will transform your meals today. Tilapia is one of the most popular fish in the world, but is it really as healthy as people think? Many choose tilapia because it's cheap, mild in flavor, and easy to cook, but few realize the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface. If you have diabetes, eating the wrong kind of tilapia could be increasing inflammation, raising blood sugar, and even putting your heart at risk. Let's break down why this fish might not be as safe as you thought. One of the biggest issues with tilapia is how it's farmed. Unlike wild fish, which eat a natural diet, most tilapia sold in supermarkets is farm-raised in crowded, artificial ponds. To keep up with demand, these fish are often fed a processed diet of corn, soy, and even animal waste. According to research published in the Journal of Food Science, this unnatural diet changes the fish's fat composition, making it low in beneficial omega-3s and dangerously high in omega-6 fatty acids. And for diabetics, this imbalance is a major problem because omega-6s fuel chronic inflammation, which can worsen insulin resistance and increase the risk of complications. Another hidden danger: toxic chemical exposure. Studies from the Environmental Working Group, EWG, have found that farmed tilapia often contain traces of industrial pollutants, antibiotics, and even heavy metals due to poor water quality and overcrowded farming conditions. Some of these contaminants, like PCBs and dioxins, have been linked to metabolic disorders and increased risk of heart disease, both of which are serious concerns for diabetics. So, if you're eating tilapia regularly, you might be unknowingly exposing yourself to substances that could be harming your health over time. Now I have to ask, have you ever noticed that some fish taste different depending on where they come from? Let me know in the comments. Your answer might help others make smarter choices, and as always, this is a community where we support each other. I truly appreciate you being here, and I read every comment. If you still want to eat tilapia, the best thing you can do is choose wild-caught or responsibly farmed options. While harder to find, some fisheries raise tilapia in cleaner environments with better food sources. Checking the label for sustainably farmed or wild-caught sources can help ensure you're getting a better quality fish without the harmful contaminants. At the end of the day, what you eat plays a massive role in your overall health. If you're serious about controlling your blood sugar, reducing inflammation, and avoiding harmful toxins, choosing the right fish is just as important as avoiding sugar. And trust me, the next danger of tilapia might shock you even more. You won't believe what some farms are feeding these fish. Tilapia might seem like a healthy choice, but do you actually know what's inside the fish you're eating? The truth is, not all tilapia is the same, and where it comes from can make a huge difference. Many farmed tilapia are raised in environments where the water is heavily contaminated. The fish are fed unnatural diets, and antibiotics are used excessively. If you have diabetes, eating this type of fish could be silently harming your body without you even realizing it. One of the biggest concerns with farmed tilapia is the quality of the water they live in. In some countries, tilapia farms use polluted water from nearby rivers or industrial areas filled with chemicals and bacteria. A report from the World Health Organization, WHO, found that some farmed tilapia tested positive for dangerous pathogens that can cause digestive issues, weaken the immune system, and contribute to inflammation. And as we know, chronic inflammation is one of the biggest drivers of insulin resistance and diabetes complications. But it gets worse. Some fish farms feed tilapia shocking ingredients to cut costs. A study published in the Journal of Aquatic Animal Health found that in some poorly regulated fish farms, tilapia were being fed animal waste, poultry droppings, and even leftover fish parts. That's right, some of the fish people are eating have been raised on literal garbage. Now think about what that means for your health. If the fish you eat is consuming low-quality contaminated food, how can it possibly be a good source of nutrition for you? Let's take a moment to connect. Have you ever noticed a difference in the taste or texture of tilapia from different places? Drop a comment below and share your experience. Your input might help someone else make a smarter food choice. And as always, this is a space where we support and learn from each other. I read every comment and I love hearing from you. If you're concerned about the quality of your fish, there are better alternatives. Instead of farmed tilapia, look for wild-caught fish like salmon, sardines, or trout, which provide higher quality protein and healthy fats without the risk of contamination. If you must eat tilapia, choose sources that are sustainably farmed in cleaner waters and raised with more natural feeding practices. At the end of the day, what you put on your plate matters. If you want to improve your blood sugar control, reduce inflammation, and support your overall health, avoiding low-quality tilapia is a smart move. But wait until you hear the last and most shocking truth about this fish. It might just change the way you see tilapia forever. By now, you might be wondering, is tilapia really that bad? And the truth is, it depends on where it comes from. If you're eating wild-caught fish from clean waters, you're getting a much better product. But if you're consuming cheap, mass-produced tilapia from poorly regulated farms, you might be putting your health at risk without even realizing it. For diabetics, this fish could be silently making blood sugar harder to control, increasing inflammation, and even damaging long-term health. One of the biggest hidden risks of farmed tilapia is the presence of harmful antibiotics. Because these fish are raised in overcrowded tanks, they are highly prone to disease. To prevent massive die-offs, fish farmers pump the water with antibiotics and chemicals to keep infections under control. The problem? According to the National Institute for Public Health, these antibiotics can remain in the fish and lead to antibiotic resistance in humans. Over time, this can weaken the immune system and make it harder for the body to fight infections naturally, something diabetics already struggle with. But here's something even more shocking. Some farmed tilapia contain traces of cancer-linked chemicals. A study published in the Environmental Toxicology Journal found that some tilapia farms use banned substances like malachite green and nitrofuran, which have been linked to an increased risk of cancer and liver damage. Now imagine eating this fish regularly, thinking it's a healthy choice, when in reality it could be adding toxins to your body that worsen your health over time. I have to ask, after learning all this, will you still eat tilapia, or are you rethinking your choices? Let me know in the comments. Your thoughts matter, and this is a space where we all help each other make smarter, healthier decisions. I truly appreciate you being here, and I love reading your insights. So what's the takeaway? Not all fish are bad, but you have to be smart about your choices. If you want to protect your health, stick to wild-caught fish or sustainably farmed options that are raised in clean, regulated waters. Always check labels, research the source, and remember, the quality of your food directly affects the quality of your life. At the end of the day, small choices can lead to big changes in your health. By avoiding the wrong foods and focusing on nutrient-dense options, you can stabilize your blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and protect your body from harmful toxins. And if you found this information helpful, make sure to stay tuned, because I have even more surprising food facts that every diabetic needs to hear. And here's something even more important. It's not just about what you should avoid, but also about what you should be eating instead. Because making the right food choices can completely change the way your body handles blood sugar, inflammation, and even energy levels throughout the day. In fact, there are certain foods that can actually help stabilize blood sugar and support your health in ways most people don't even realize. That's why I'm leaving a video on the screen right now that reveals some of the best foods you should be eating if you want to manage diabetes effectively. But here's the catch. You might be missing out on a food that could make a huge difference in your blood sugar control. If you don't watch it, you'll never know which simple changes could transform your health starting today. So don't wait. Click the video on the screen right now and find out what you should be eating to support your body. I'll see you there.